In today's video, we're just going to do a basic charging system check. We're going to do 3 checks on the bike just to make sure that the charging system is working as designed. The first one is that we're just going to check the battery to make sure the battery is charged and healthy. Just a very basic check. Second one, we're going to check that the charging system is charging the battery and that we're getting power coming up and it's charging the battery. And the third check is we're going to make sure it's not overcharging the battery. Overcharging is normally caused by a bad regulator. Flat batteries and undercharging are sort of the same thing, and they're normally caused by a bad generator. Okay, so check number 1 is we're going to check that we've got some power in the battery and the battery seems to be charged. To do that, we're going to need, well, to do all the checks, we're going to need our meter. Now, this is just a very basic meter. These are about £5 or £10. You can find them on eBay or electronic shops like Maplin, stuff like that. This can do 99% of what you want to do on bikes. There's very little that you can't actually check with this. So to check the battery, just make sure we have our leads in the right position here. So we're not in the high current one, we're in the low milliamps and we're commons in. We're going to set our dial to voltage 20. Okay, so the top of our scale here will be 20 volts, which we are looking for around 12 volts. Okay, so I won't try and talk over the engine running there, so apologies for that, but hopefully you can see what happened then. So as we had the battery just connected on, we had 12.5 volts, which was the base battery voltage. So even though the engine's running a tick over, because this is an older bike, it produces no output from the generator tick over. More modern bikes which are fuel injection or have daytime riding lights, you're going to find that they will always produce a lot more power at low down. So you might find you've got quite a bit of output at low down if you've got a more modern bike. The Guzzi doesn't. That's quite normal. So as I revved the bike, you can see that the voltage went up, and while we were at sort of running speeds, which is for the Guzzi is like 2000 plus RPM, we were seeing 13.5 volts. So that's showing that the generator's knocking out voltage and charging up. Then as I rev the engine a bit higher, you can see that the voltage carried on climbing up until it reached 14.1 volts, at which point it stopped and it would go no further. Now that might be 14.2 on most bikes, but around 14.2 you certainly don't want to be seeing any voltages higher than 14.2. If you're seeing voltages higher than 14.2, that means your generator is working but your regulator is not. Of course, if the voltage just sat at 12.5 for the whole period, even though I was revving the engine, it's a fair bet that the generator's not working. Now it might be a problem with the regulator, but it's most probably a problem with the generator itself. Okay, so that's it basically. That is the checks. They're the 3 checks. Just to recap, they were battery base voltage, generator is generating, so we saw the voltage climbing, and the third check was that the generator was not overcharging, the regulator is not overcharging the battery, and that showed that the voltage stopped at 14.1 volts in this case. That'll be it.